So here we go, welcome back to another edition of Game Day. I've arrived in South London as Town take on Charlton Athletic here at the Valley in a big League One clash. A sold out away end, it's going to be a great atmosphere, cannot wait for this one. John McGrill in charge of course with the shocking sacking of Paul Cook. Let's see what Town could do on a Tuesday night in South London. Hope you guys enjoy as ever, enjoy the sights and the sounds as standard and speak to the fans after the game and get their thoughts on the result. Hope you enjoy, let's go.
Hi there, it's Bloomers, and well, there's probably going to be a lot coming out of that game, and none of it's positive, and all of it's justified, because that, pound for pound, was the worst performance of the season from every single one of those players. There isn't a single person other than Christian Walton that can hold his head high, and I have no idea why that happened, because the manager, who they apparently don't seem to like or want or play for, clearly left, and yet they decided to play exactly the same, if not worse. John McGrill came in, and you can give him a little bit of rope, I guess, but he decided to play the exact same formation that clearly served us so well for the last 10 games, because obviously clearly it didn't, and exactly the same thing happened. Completely overrun, they completely deserved their... Well, maybe they didn't deserve their first goal, because it was quite even the first half. Second half was a complete and utter horror. Sorry, we cut that through halfway because we had to leave the stadium. The second half was absolutely terrible as well. The same thing happened, if not worse. We were terrible, as the bloke just said over there. We got completely overrun. The second goal came very later than we actually expected, because Walton had to make so many saves. I just don't know what's happening with this football club at the moment. We supposedly have this squad in that can compete for the top two, and yet they're playing like a bottom two side. And that result there was completely justified. It could easily have been 3 or 4. We didn't have one shot on target the whole game. The stats might say we do. I certainly can't think of one right now. And, well, if John McGrill was out the frying pan, he's certainly into the fire now. Who the hell would want this job when the players are going to play like that? They've chucked one manager under the bus. The previous lot of managers, previous lot of players chucked the other manager under the bus. For whatever reason, this football club just decides that the players think that mediocrity is the correct thing to do, and it's not. It's not. And there's 3,500 people here, right? They've come down on a Tuesday night in December, and exactly the same thing is happening year after year after year in the first tier, in the second tier, in the third tier, and it's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. I don't understand why these players think they can do that. And it's no, I don't want to swear. I don't want to swear. But it's so hard to when you have all these people coming down on a Tuesday night and getting that served to their face. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
Well, hey, how you doing? It's it's me, it's Matt, it's Bono, as some people call me, view from the U2. Tonight I had view from the behind the goal at the Valley. Fantastic ground, fitting of a team that have achieved quite a lot in the last 30 years. That was awful tonight, wasn't it? Let's face it. We can't... You can roll a poo in glitter, but it will always be a poo. Not a lot to say, really. We looked like a team in shock, that a manager had probably been sacked far too early. We looked disorganised. We looked disinterested. We looked like we didn't really have a clue. We travelled in great numbers from God's own county, Suffolk. And where do we go from here? Let's hope that the board have got a damn good appointment in mind, because I don't think it can get any worse than what we saw tonight. We're all going to be racing to get our buses and our trains back before we get stranded in the Devil City. It's lovely south of the water, trust me. Wink, wink. But yeah, there we go. Strange formation, strange team. I'm not going to call out any individual players because I don't think any of them deserved it, to be honest. That was harsh. A new low for us in League One, but I'm clinging to that thread of optimism, and fingers crossed we can pull our fingers out, because the new year we're going to need a hell of a run to achieve what we want to achieve. But there we go. Come on, you Blues.
Time, unfortunately. It's 3,000 people here. It's not good enough. It's probably one of our most abject performances of the season. We were not even passing it as well before. We were trying to just hoof it up much more often, but we don't really have the players to hoof it up to. We tried to counter-attack like at the start of the game, but we were way too slow when trying to counter-attack. We weren't creating chances at all. We tried to put the ball in the box, which is admirable, which was probably one of the only things I noticed from before, which was any good. But really, it could have been about 5 or 6-0. It was absolutely diabolical. It was a low. And to be honest, I'm really sorry for all the fans that have to go back to Ipswich. I only live 5 miles away from here, so it's only going to take me half an hour. It's not even that far to Ipswich, but most of us shouldn't have bothered, and the players certainly didn't bother today. At the end, there was a bit of a tussle between Nsiala. If he reacted to racism like that, I completely am with him, but you shouldn't be reacting like that to anything else. So I really hope, well, no, I don't hope. I really hope he didn't let himself down by reacting like that to fans, unless it was racist abuse, which obviously is very serious. So it's a bit of a sad note seeing that at the end of the game, because I never like my players fighting with the fans. So it's sad to see, and it also just makes me think I'm worried. I'm worried for this club. Most players came in for Paul Cook. Paul Cook's gone now. Are they going to want to play for him? They certainly didn't look like it today. I don't think it's going to get easier as an Ipswich fan over the next month.
I don't know what to say, really. Where's Mark? I don't know where he's gone. He's very, very upset. I think a lot of Ipswich fans are very upset. What I wanted to say, because I feel that this has been a very snap decision. I know a lot of fans were disgruntled on Twitter about Cook, but we don't live on Twitter, and Cook has got a record. I just saw a team today that seemed like they had nothing to play for. They were just as much in shock as we are, and I don't know what's going on at the club. It just seems like a snap decision. Normally, I would expect the fans to get rid of a manager. The fans would be providing banners at the stadium. They would be turning around and saying Cook out. They'd be singing songs saying we want our club back, or get him out of our club. But none of that has happened, and we've ended up with a shock decision to just get rid of him. Now, is it personalities or what? We will never know. We don't even know if Cook will ever have got us up. We don't know now. He's gone. But in the meantime, the club now looks like it's in disarray. And I don't honestly see anybody coming into this club and making it better and having an impact to the levels that our new owners seem to have established. But that's my 10 pence worth. So good luck. If you're watching in America, good luck trying to find somebody who's going to take on this club and get it to where you want it to be.
Well, that was dreadful, Ross. Absolutely dreadful. And I think it all goes back to Cook. We never actually... There were some fans that were turning, but there wasn't enough to suggest that he should have been sacked. And now we've had that tonight, and now we're looking at and going, where do we go from here? Because we don't know who the manager's going to be. Nobody seems to agree on who the new guy is to turn this around. And all the while, we've now gone another defeat tonight. We've got Wigan at the weekend. I mean, by the time they appoint someone for Pack Out Portman Road, season's almost gone. Tonight was dreadful. We were second to every ball. There was no desire. I mean, the midfield is weak. Morsey was supposed to be brought in to be that ball breaker. And they don't want to put their foot in. The fullbacks were getting overrun every time. It's like the definition of insanity is you keep doing the same thing and hoping something will change. It's exactly what Cook had done, and we got the same thing tonight. And I don't know if that was worse than Rotherham, but it was certainly pretty dreadful. We didn't create anything, and had Walton not had a really good night, we would have got battered. So yeah, we're I don't know where we go from here, to be honest.